Hey y'all, welcome back to the show. All right, tucked away in the Texas Hill Country is 700 acres of land that one Lone Star-based president used to call home. We're talking about LBJ State Park, the old stomping grounds of Lyndon B. Johnson, former president of the United States. He and his wife, Lady Bird Johnson, were dedicated to preserving the land, and we had to see it all for ourselves. So come along as we make our way to LBJ State Park. Located just outside of Fredericksburg is Stonewall, Texas, the birthplace of our 36th president, Lyndon B. Johnson. Today, folks can visit his home and explore the Texas Hill Country at LBJ State Park. So LBJ State Park is not only a recreational park, they also have a living history farm where, just like you and me, we need breakfast every morning. Well, I already ate, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna feed the animals on the farm. Come with me. Get your food. Little protein shake in the morning. Extra protein. Enjoy. So she used to be a show pig, but now she comes here to eat, and sleep. Oh yeah, not a bad life, right? So she's about 600 pounds. Holy smokes. The Sauer-Beckmann Farm is a historical site that's been a part of the family for over 100 years. At the farm, time freezes at exactly the year 1918, where park rangers dress in World War I garb and tend to the farm just like the olden days.
So the farm goes back to 1869.
Okay.
So behind us, we have all of the historic buildings here at the farm. The oldest are these cabins that are close to us. Johann Friedrich Sauer, you can tell where he's from, he's German, and his wife Christine came here in 1869. He and his wife were originally from Germany. They actually immigrated as children.
Okay.
They came to Texas when they were little kids, grew up in Fredericksburg, got married, moved out here to become cotton farmers.
Okay.
And that's what we're here to show you is the history of German Texans. And these people that farmed here for almost 100 years would have been familiar with the Johnsons. That's why we're part of Lyndon B. Johnson State Park. We're not where he lived. He lived across the river. That's where he was born. But these were his neighbors and he was influenced by the Germans.
Awesome. That is an incredible story I had no idea about. So now we are here on the property. So what kind of attractions are here today?
So today when folks come visit, they usually are surprised because they don't think farm and state park.
Right.
So they come, they're like, oh, we're here for hiking. And they're like, and there's chickens.
Yeah.
And I'm a little confused. What's going on?
I was one of them.
Yeah. And they go, wait, does LBJ live here? It's LB. What's going on? So we're saying, well, we're here to show you the context of his childhood. So every day when you come, it might be something different. We're always going to be feeding the animals.
Yeah.
They've always got to eat. You saw how hungry they are. We're always going to be cooking because we got to eat because we get hungry. So we always cook over that wood burning stove every day.
All right.
We grow our own food in the garden. We preserve our own food the way they do. And then it changes seasonally what tasks we have to work on.
Right.
We do special activities throughout the year. Usually at least once a month we're doing something a little extra special.
And just like any ranch, there are 0 days off. Daily chores include cooking, cleaning, gardening, feeding the animals, and so much more.
All right, so we're gonna go in and work in the field. But as you see, Mark already has his hat on, modeling proper sun protection. So we've got a bonnet for you.
Awesome.
Because we wanna make sure we don't get sunburned. We don't really have much sunscreen in
Yes.
1918, so we have to use these. So these are the seeds that we're going to be planting. So when you get cotton, it's big and fluffy. You pull off the fluff. That's what gets used in our clothes. These are the seeds that you can get oil from that are left behind, and this is what we're going to be using to plant. So we're going to be doing it about between 1 to 2 feet apart. We're going to be planting about 3 seeds every 1 to 2 feet. So one of the chores that we often have folks help with is gathering eggs. So I'm gonna hand you our fancy little basket.
Okay.
So just look around, do you see any eggs?
Yeah,
Put
there's
them
so
in.
many. How exciting.
Hens have been busy, they love sunshine, so they lay more when it's bright
Ooh,
and
they're
sunny.
nice and warm.
If you ever remember the old nursery rhyme about Little Miss Muffet on her tuffy eating her curds and whey, curds and whey is another word for clabbered milk or yogurt.
Oh, okay.
So we use that yogurt to make cheese, but the first thing we have to do is get the cream off. So you see that yellow all on top, that's the cream that has risen to the top overnight.
Okay.
We said we have Jersey cows because they have a really rich, thick, creamy milk. Well, here's all the cream. So you're gonna scrape this cream off and put it in our butter churn. The churning butter takes a very long time, so we'll probably not be done. So we're gonna walk into the Beckmann house. This is the front porch. You've got a nice porch swing. So this is where, as a visitor to the family, this is where you would come in. So this is the kids' bedroom right here.
Okay.
They had their 3 children. We often ask kids, look around, how many beds do you count? Only 2. You think it's hard to share a room? They had to share a bed.
Oh my goodness.
Right next to the kids' bedroom, we have the parents' bedroom.
Okay.
Which again, you can see was quite the upgrade before Emma had to live in the cabins. This was pretty nice.
This is fancy.
Very, very pleasant.
Hey, this is not too shabby. I would definitely see myself living in here, but just give me a little AC unit. That'd be, I'd be perfect.
Agreed. Agreed.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to YOLO Texas, where we finished touring the Sauer-Beckmann Farm at LBJ State Park, and now it is time to hit the trails with Park Superintendent Dennis Smith.
Of course, here at LBJ State Park is here in Stonewall, Texas, a little community between Johnson City and Fredericksburg. This is where President Lyndon B. Johnson was born, where he grew up, and then where he came back as an adult, bought his family's property, and lived here, and actually died here on the property right across the river from us where we're at here in the state park. And that's actually in the LBJ National Park, where all that's at. But here in the state park, we have several acres that we are preserving the heritage and the legacy of President Johnson and Lady Bird Johnson.
What makes this a great summer visit for folks to come out here?
Well, obviously we're in the Texas Hill Country, and this is an absolutely beautiful place, you know, nestled between Johnson City and Fredericksburg. And here at LBJ State Park, we have our bison, our longhorn, but also too, we have an Olympic-sized swimming pool. And it's a major attraction for during the summertime for a lot of people to come out here and swim in the cool waters of the swimming pool. We also have different little facilities that people can rent, but we also have access down to the Pedernales River where people like to go fishing. Every now and then people like to put their kayaks or canoes in a few different places that they have access for that. So just an enjoyable place.
Perfect. And you can also hit the trails, get your steps in as well. So tell us about the trails, because we're going to go hiking here in a bit. So what's the terrain like? Give us the spiel. Okay, well, all of our trails are about 1.5 miles. We don't have an extensive amount of trails, but they're really pretty. They go through our fields of wildflowers. They go past our longhorn pastures. You can see some majestic longhorns that are a big part of our Texas history. Also go through some real neat, wooded creek areas. So there's diverse. The trails are fairly level. There are a couple of trails that are not accessible, handicap accessible as they go through the creek, but for the majority, most of them are. There's bridges and good level pathways that go through the park. So again, we have lots of wildflowers out here, and through the different seasons of the year, we'll have different species that come up, from the blue bonnets and the Indian paintbrushes that come up in the springtime. As we start getting to our hotter months, we start having the coneflowers coming up. There's a lot taller plant. Also, people know them as Mexican hats because they do resemble somewhat of a Mexican sombrero, but a real pretty flower, quite an abundance of them in real nice open areas out here, lots of sunshine. Back off this direction, we have one of our longhorn pens. I have a couple of beautiful longhorns. So how about we just head that way and go take a look? Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
These are part of our Texas Longhorn herd, which are part of the official state Longhorn herd that's headquarters at Fort Griffin. This is part of the heritage that we're trying to preserve from the Texas history when Lyndon Johnson's grandfather and family were here in this area, and this was a big part of their doing cattle drives was a big part of their history too. And so we're trying to preserve that part of the heritage of the Texas Hill Country and the Johnson legacy.
This 1.2-mile trail forested area passes by a flowing creek into bison pasture, which is home to 7 bison, 1 male and 6 females. All right, we got our steps in today.
Sure
Thank
did.
you so much,
You're welcome.
Dennis, for introducing our YOLO Texas family to LBJ State Park.
Absolutely. Come back, bring your family, bring your friends, and let everybody else know about us and what kind of a wonderful place we have here to offer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank
All
you so
right,
much,
thank
Dennis.
you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take a tour through the farm and get to know more about the Texas Hill Country and our 36th president by visiting LBJ State Park and clicking on the link below.